Hello, America, and welcome to the Ryan Mack podcast. Today is a different episode. Specifically, it's not on one singular topic. But today's episode is America, who are we? I want to discuss the biggest question, perhaps plaguing most of Americans right now, or at least should be on their mind. Who are we? Our founding fathers were flawed men, religious men who love their country deeply. They had the brilliant ideas of freedom, rights that come from God, not the government, and they crafted and created perhaps two of the most important documents in U.S. history, the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. So the question is, what happened and where did we go wrong? Well, ever since the fall of man, from the beginning in the book of Genesis, mankind has fallen into a comfort zone of permissive culture, an immoral acceptance of wrong, and a lazy attitude to ignore wrongs if they aren't against oneself. America was founded on a set of ideas that made it so vastly different and unique from the rest of the developing nations, one of many reasons for our rise to global power status. But is that enough to simply be globally powerful and ignore the society dumpster fires it has seen over its long history? American life has evolved since the beginning. The American Revolution, the Industrial Revolution, the massive wealth and growth economically that has turned America into a world superpower and a nation that the world came to rely on and depend on for help when they needed. So why can't America get help for itself, or help Americans first? The answer is more complicated than just political differences within. America doesn't have a political issue. No, it has a spiritual one and a major God problem. In fact, it's a nation of godlessness. It was founded on God, freedom of religion and speech. America became a cultural cesspool of acceptance since then, and that needs to change. So why is it okay to accept sexualization of our kids at young ages like we currently exist and or currently see? Well, it isn't happening to me, we think, so why should I care? Why is it okay to accept a culture of sexual freedom outside of marriage? You know, we're a nation of freedoms and a nation of different individuals and different ideas. But we used to be a nation of morals, a sense of right and wrong, good and evil. And when it came down to it, we told you no if we didn't agree with an overall cultural war that was taking place. Here's the thing. When evil is allowed to fester, a country can crumble, empires cease to exist. Why is it okay to ignore cultural norms that the left forces on us? Just shrug our shoulders. We cannot move forward where we are and where we want to be without taking a deeper inner look at who we really are and want to become. Do we want to just accept this woke culture out of acceptance and fear of cancellation? I don't think so. We shouldn't be allowed to be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid of being censored or canceled. We should take on the left and their evil ways. None of what is taking place today is by accident. The left doesn't do anything by accident. Their speeches, their ways of policy making, they are all intentional. The ESG that I pointed to a couple episodes back is a social credit score system by banks that are being used to force us and to go along with their thinking. That's not by accident. It's a current pilot program right now by the WEF, and it's currently a disaster if it actually is fully implemented. It's all by design. Why? Well, of course, to weaken America and lower its status on the global stage. They are globalists. They hate individualism. They hate what America stands for. And they hate your freedoms. They hate God. They hate you. They hate me. They hate conservatives. But they despise that we have different opinions than the collective groupthink. Shut your mouth and take it from the left. We're in charge, you're not, sit down. The hierarchy model. It's not hypocrisy, it's hierarchy. Take the The liberals, they don't care that you have an opinion of your own. They want you to think like them, and we really shouldn't. And when it comes down to it, this isn't really about right, wrong, fair, not fair, woke, not woke, conservative, liberalism. This is a progressive Marxist rot on our culture. And we have to take back our country, guys. We cannot allow this to stand. This culture of, oh, I don't care. It's not happening to me. Well, it is happening to you. It's going to happen to you. It's happening on a lower level right now in central Illinois. Illinois is becoming a filth epidemic of sexualized culture and this ideology that the left has of taking over your kids so that they can control an entire generation. And it's absurd and it's grotesque thinking that the left has. And it's a rot. And we just continue as conservatives to sit by and just allow it to happen. And that can't be the case anymore. We are a nation under God, and we must become a nation of morals, of principles, and a sense of good versus evil. We cannot allow evil to continue to win. We have to get back to a moral compass. And this election isn't simply about left or right, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative. It's about good versus evil and getting back to what is wrong and what we should accept. We shouldn't be accepting a culture where it's okay to accept gay and over-sexualization of the LGBTQ, the alphabet, the grooming of our kids, the mistreatment of others simply based on the race, simply based on difference of opinion. We are a nation of law and order. The left hates laws. They hate obeying laws. They love chaos. We are a nation of freedoms, God-given rights, no matter what the left tells you, and the federal government under Joe Biden tells you, and they've successfully continued to do, is erode some of those freedoms. We are a nation of God, and the left hates religion. Without God, the left can use its emotional string pulling to suck you into their collective groupthink. Without God, a sense of right, wrong, good, evil, the left corrupts our youth, runs over our freedoms, and changes our country as we know it forever. We are a nation that isn't racist systemically, that the left will have you believe. We believe that men, all men, and this means women too, this isn't just a word thing, are created equal in God's image. None of this rotten, leftist, Marxist, cult-like climate change fantasy island dwelling culture should exist if we were one nation under God and of moral character. It really comes down to we are a nation of immoral justice and moral acceptance. We've just become permissive of these sick ideological differences the left has, and it's forced us on the entire population. And it's really important to look at November and not just accept it and just shrug our shoulders. This is something that it's more of a rant today because I'm getting tired of just sitting by and taking it and not giving it back to the left. And I wanted to do something different today and just speak to you how important it is and how far we've come from a good moral country with flaws. Understandably, we do have flaws and we've had them over a course of time, but we had a collective thought that if it was good for this country, we'll do it. If not, root it out and weed it out and get rid of it. We became a nation of weak-shouldered, small-minded, closed-minded men who became women, women who became men, men couldn't get pregnant. It's just this nonsense. It's a moral rot and decay of society. So as we come closer towards the election, and this isn't, Republicans don't always have the answers, but Democrats will almost always, like Dan Bongino says, be the cause of your problems. If you want to be a nation that just accepts the moral rot and decay, by all means, just sit back and sit home and think it's only the midterms. I'll be fine. Then don't vote. But if you want to take back your country and take back the freedoms that this country enjoys and what makes it unique, and if you want to take back the rights that have been taken away by these tyrants, these tyrannical, totalitarian, Marxist, evil people, these sick people that the Democrat Party has become, then vote like your life depended on it, because it will. If you want your retirement, if you want to keep your children away from the scum that is intercepted by the left and education rot, vote. If you're conservative, even if you're a moderate Republican, you don't have to sit by and take this. It's so very important to exercise our voting rights in this country. And no matter what the left tells you about the right suppression of the vote, because that's not true. It's not true at all. With the different laws that have been protected recently, it's about protecting the vote and against fraud. But I encourage you, and this is my public service announcement to all of you, if you're tired of being railroaded and ran over by this Marxist bus and this sick ideology of the left, and just tired of the things that are going on in this administration that's forcing us down our throat, and things that are coming that I'm going to allude to in future episodes that are just going to scare the bones right off of you, please, please, please vote, and vote Republicans all across the ballot this November. And there's early voting taking place currently, so please get out and vote and make your voice heard and do your part. Because we are a nation of God, and we need to get back to that. And understandably, we have our flaws, but together, if we root out this evil, we will be in a much better place for our future, for our kids' future, for our grandkids' future. It's important, and it depends on it. So please get out and vote and fight back against the tyrannical left. Don't let them silence you. As always, you guys can catch me on Facebook at The Ryan Mack Show, and please and thank you, follow me wherever you get your podcasts, and continue to grow my audience as much as you can. Share away. Thank you again for your support. See you next time.